If you're wondering where your fear of failure came from, this video is for you. Have you ever heard of what shame means? Because the definition of shame is this idea that I am bad, innately who I am is bad. Where in contrast, guilt, the definition is I did something bad. So the behavior I did is bad, but I am not the behavior. So it's not my identity. And that allows us to detach. So when you make a mistake or maybe you hit your brother and you feel guilt, that's normal. But the shame that comes up in that example is, oh, I am bad for hitting my brother, which is not true. And in sports, this shows up in I made a mistake and someone said, why did you do that? Why do you keep doing that? You always make mistakes. You always make this mistake. You always choke in big things, in big moments. And then that guilt or that feeling, that failure that we experience now turns into a fear, because shame is one of the most scariest things to experience. No one wants to feel bad to their core. And the antidote to that is this idea that in order to not fear failure and fear mistakes, we have to eliminate shame. So that means if you're a coach or you're a parent, when your child or your player makes a mistake, you have to eliminate any shaming language around it. So one way that I kind of try to indirectly make mistakes okay in my sessions is two things. One, I don't address it. They make a mistake, I move on. They don't need feedback every single time they make a mistake. They get conditioned to receive that feedback, to tune you out, and then they're always kind of looking for you for some sort of feedback, when in reality, they have a lot of answers themselves, or maybe they have all the answers, or maybe they know what mistake, how they could have done differently in that mistake, so that way they don't make it again. So I think one, not addressing it at all, going on to the next rep. And then two, it's never, it's the 10th time they've made the same mistake, and it's, why do you keep doing this? No. It's, how can I support you better? What am I missing? What do I need to adjust in my session? Because if you keep making the same mistake, there's clearly something in the environment that I can control that will help push you towards not making the mistake again. This idea of constraints-led approach. You can put a constraint in the environment so that way you're not directly telling them, and then the environment's kind of manipulated into avoiding that mistake. On top of question-led feedback of what did you see there? Why do you think you keep making this mistake? How do you feel? What could you do differently there? There's no judgment. I think the judgment that comes around making a mistake leads to a fear of failure because of that idea of them feeling shame. If you found this helpful, press that follow button, press the like button, and share this with someone that you know has a fear of failure but is really wanting to work on it.